MTV Cribs was extremely fake. Here's the evidence. If you guys are too old or too young, actually, for MTV Cribs, let me just tell you something. So am I. But I remember my mom watched it before, or my cousins, a little bit older than me. And bro, these guys showed the inside of their houses, and it was low key beautiful. I remember watching what was it? Oh yes, my boy 50 Cent's house, bro. 50 Cent's house on MTV Cribs was Kim K. What she got doing this? What she doing? You got them pose. Oh yeah, okay, I remember this one. Shaq's one. Yep, this one 50 Cent over here. 50 Cent. I didn't watch Usher's ones. So yeah, it's basically a big old house tour. Shout out to boy Ray J. House tour for the richest Hollywood celebrities of the 2000s, like peak Hollywood, right? Not the Diddy Hollywood, peak Hollywood. Let's watch some clips. Oh my, Naomi Campbell's Jamaican retreat. Specs, nine beds.
Hi, I'm Naomi Campbell. Welcome to my crib. Come on in. It's considered like...
I mean, you get the gist, right? I'm not gonna play. I'm probably gonna get copyrighted. But holy smoke!
Ferraris, they were rented. Robbie Williams' castle home, it belonged to someone else. MTV Cribs wasn't
Airbnbs.
exactly legit.
And we said that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, it's all lies.
And nothing shows this better than the episode with Ja Rule.
Ja
He
Rule.
flexed his 5-bedroom mansion on Star Island in Miami, where he talked about living beside other famous celebrities. The house was so familiar that Ja Rule named
Diddy.
each area, calling his courtyard the Open Paradise, which was patrolled by his guard dog Cookie. It was shown in the intro that the property was a rental, but this was assumed to be on a long-term basis, given he knew almost everything about the mansion. However, as it turns out, Ja Rule's house on Cribs was actually a 4-day rental, which was exposed in the most embarrassing way, by lawsuit. Ja Rule paid $46,000 for the 4-day lease, promising the mansion's owner it'd be used as a private home for 8 adults with no video shoots and no loud parties.
Okay, so again, it's not MTV's fault. It's a celebrity's fault for playing around with it. They don't got a real house then.
Well, Ja Rule broke all 3 conditions, shooting his MTV episode whilst having a party with over 600 people.
Imagine that. You signed a contract, right? You signed a contract to your Airbnb saying no video shoots, no parties, no whatever, no X. And you go on MTV, one of the biggest networks at the time, and everything's on TV. And you're watching a TV show as the owner of the house. And you're like, oh, wait. I lived there this time. That's my ship. That's my furniture. What the flip are they? What are they doing? Diddy stuff on my bed? Lawsuit. Sue.
Says holes were punched in the walls, furniture and doors were damaged, the driveway somehow cracked, while condoms and syringes were left throughout the house.
No!
As a result, Ja Rule and MTV were sued for $1 million, but at least it looked like a house that Ja Rule would live in, as the Yin Yang Twins crib was laughably out of character. The Atlanta gangster rapping duo opened the door revealing the most suburban house, filled with fish tanks, sailing boats, and sea-related artwork.
What's this yin yang?
We waving like the sea. We decorated this ourselves now.
That mansion was definitely decorated by some old white people, not the Yin Yang Twins.
This is clearly just a random old white guy's house that likes to fish and likes boats.
They'd even argue over where they bought appliances and had to improvise names for each of the fish. You can tell the Yin Yang Twins have never been in that house. It seemed they at least
Oh, the managers then set them up. The managers did a shippy job of setting them up.
owned the vehicles at the end, as the cars displayed by Bow Wow were rented for the show. He was just 18 years old during his first Cribs appearance, but despite having starred in some high-profile movies, it seemed unrealistic that
Hold on.
But
Forgot about this dude. This, one of the best Tokyo movies, one of the best Fast and Furious, not gonna lie, one of the best top 2 Fast and Furious movies.
It seemed unrealistic that he could afford a 6-bedroom mansion and a fleet of luxury cars. With his name airbrushed above his bed, it seemed as though Bow Wow at least owned the house, although the luxury vehicles were a little more suspicious. Because 2 years later he'd go on the show again, during which a viewer made an observation. We had MTV Cribs running in the background and watched 21-year-old Bow Wow show off his his bachelor pad in Miami, along with his pimped out Bentley, Lamborghini, and Cadillac Escalade. But then we noticed the word Prestige at the bottom of all
Prestige.
three cars, and decided to Google Prestige Rental Cars Miami, and what do you know, there it was.
What an idiot. Is that company still alive? Prestige Rental Cars Miami. Okay, okay, it's still alive. 25th Street, Miami. Hold on, they actually do have some luxury vehicles. Oh, hey, you all know Bow Wow then. Oh, you guys got some Ferraris here. Yo, oh, Porsche 911. Okay, nah. G-Wagon 695, Lamborghini Huracan 1200, Escalade 400. Bro. Portofino! The Portofino. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can see why Bow Wow wanted to rent some cars from you guys. But this looks like a fake website, not gonna lie. This looks like a ChatGPT generated image. This is so bad. Beautiful cars though, bro. That is some sexy car.
Prestige was the name of the company that Bow Wow rented the cars from, which was likely encouraged by the show, as Birdman also used the service during his appearance. Regardless, people clowned on
You all
Bow
want to
Wow,
use the same
stating,
one.
Ha ha ha, I wonder if he rented the condo too, which by looking at his life was also highly likely. For example, he'd post his Ferrari to his Instagram, writing, take the drop top to the night spot, keep the California in California, we went hard tonight Grammy weekend, which was then reposted by a car rental company who accidentally exposed our good friend Bow Wow pulling up to the Grammys with our Ferrari California.
Bro, what an idiot. Who was doing that? I'd be so pissed if I'm Bow, right? I'm trying to say, hey, don't leak my information like that, man. You gotta keep it on the low. Instead, Platinum Transportation in California goes and spills the beans.
1 year later, it was exposed for flexing a rented Hollywood mansion, but the worst example was in 2017, when he'd post this to his Instagram. He showed the private jet he was taking to his concert, yet the very same day,
Bro, why do you even do
this
this?
Snapchat went viral. So this guy Lil Bow Wow is on my flight to NY, but on Instagram he posted a picture of a private jet caption traveling to NY today. Shaking
Bro,
my head.
come
Turns out
on.
Bow Wow's picture of his private jet had been taken from a limo company's website.
No. You gotta do better than this. Come on. If we're gonna play this cloud chasing game, we gotta do better than this. We can't be renting cars from the same company. We can't be renting houses. Like, we gotta at least try to get your rich friend's company, try to get the CEO of the record label you're signed to, try to get their house or something. Like, what is this, bro?
Prompting
Why is it all in Florida too?
people to
Florida.
dig even deeper, discovering he'd done this on more than one occasion. It seems his MTV
Shadow
Cribs
Mouse.
episode led to years and years of faking luxury, but as mentioned in Bow Wow's expose, 50 Cent had done a similar thing. 50 Cent's
I mean, hold on,
episode
wait, this kind of makes sense though, because there's no way 50 Cent's broke, bro, because he's definitely a
was
rich
the
motherfucker.
definition of excess. He showed his 19-bedroom
Bro, this is the beautiful house. I remember this is the episode I first saw. This house is like
35 bathroom
this is
mansion,
Diddy good.
which included a squash court, movie theater, recording studio, and its very own nightclub. Equally impressive was his car collection, which included 4 different rare collectible
Hold on, if you think about it though, like it kind of makes sense to fake it. Number one, it's a TV. Number two, if this is the real house, you don't want your whole crew of MTV people coming to your real house, and you don't want to let anybody and everybody watch MTV to even let them know that it's your house, right? Like, I'm not gonna leak my address to everybody. I'm not gonna leak where I live. And also, number three, if I'm 50 Cent during peak 2000s on tour, rapping, world tours, I'm barely home. So like, why am I gonna buy expensive
Ferraris,
house?
leading him to state,
I know you ain't see these before when you was watching Cribs because everybody ain't got these.
yet it seems 50 Cent
but
didn't
yeah,
have them either. Each Ferrari had little numbers on their windshields, leading to a forum post reading, if you notice the small white numbers in the top left-hand corner of the windshields on the F50 and Enzo, those are the numbers of the cars that were in the Hartford Concorso parade, which was
Concorso.
confirmed when the user posted these photos. Another forum member added,
Hartford,
it's pretty obvious
Connecticut.
that they aren't his, because it's a known fact that there's only one yellow Enzo in CT, which was owned by a pretty well-known hedge fund manager. Well,
The
someone
real
else
rich
then-
dudes. See, the real rich dudes in finance. The real rich dudes, man.
The Ferraris are unfortunately not 50 cents. He invited my friend over to his house for this, and my friend let him use his cars for the episode, and they were filming some music videos that day as well. The Enzo F50 and 599 all belong to one owner.
Who are you?
He sent later
Who owns this? All three, man. You are a rich CEO hedge fund manager.
filed for bankruptcy, he'd admit the cars were rented. He'd instead pay off debts by selling his mansion, therefore joining the likes of JoJo, who admitted to doing MTV Cribs while she was actually homeless. JoJo showed
What?
MTV through her Cape Cod vacation home, where she supposedly loved spending her summers. It was therefore a little weird that she'd invite her extended family, but she'd reveal the reason for this exactly 10 years
Who
later.
is this?
JoJo was asked about the episode in a Huffington Post interview, to which she'd respond it was so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have a home at that point. My mum and I were living out of suitcases and were mostly in hotels. So that was actually my
Okay.
uncle's house on the Cape. That wasn't my house, that wasn't my stuff. I should have balled hard and been like, welcome to my crib, look at how luxurious it is, and I should have rented out a place. But no, I just used my uncle's crib. JoJo further clarified.
So we went to the Cape, which I've never been to the Cape. I never go to the Cape. And we said that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, that was not my house. We brought in some items that I had. It's all lies.
Should also answer the question.
Classic
Why even
TV,
bother
bro.
doing the episode then?
Classic
For the
TV, brother.
exposure.
Oh, okay.
But no episode was faker
She
than
just said it
the
right there.
one by Robbie
For the
Williams.
exposure.
He showed MTV his massive British castle, talking about the spots where he'd been snapped by paparazzi. He then shows
Robbie
his group
Williams.
of friends before making a joke,
I don't really know these people, but what I do is I actually phone Rent-A-Friend.
but apparently he'd also phoned Rent a Castle. You see, the building was so big that people recognized it as the famous St. Catherine's Court, which was owned by someone
you're
else completely,
you're
Jane
such an
Seymour.
idiot.
She had no idea that Robbie ever went there, or that he'd hired a fake butler to help out with the shoot. It wouldn't be
Bro,
until
hold on, that
Seth
butler
went there, or
has
that
no-
he'd hired a
Yeah, they just said, hey, random dude off the street in England, pull up in a suit. Butlers don't got a posture like this. I'm gonna tell you straight up. As a butler myself, we got better posture than this. And our suits are much more sharper than this. We're looking sharper. This dude looks like he just shagged somebody.
fake butler to help out with the shoot.
Yes, shagged.
It wouldn't be
That's
until
some Britain,
17
UK slang,
years
isn't it?
later that
Shagged.
Robbie finally admitted we didn't let Jane know that I was gonna pretend it was my house. And because I was like 23 and full of spunk,
The flip is a spunk, bro. What is this? What is a spunk? 23, fully spunk. I can just imagine a British person saying that. I'm full of spunk. I'm getting spunky. Courage and determination. I'm getting spunk. Spunky. I'm getting spunk.
I didn't even consider other people's thoughts or
That's what it means. It doesn't even make sense. That's what it means to have a lot of determination. Oh, spend money extravagantly. That's British English. I'm full of spunk. Basically full of shit.
feelings. So I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise to Jane Seymour, but it might not have even been Robbie Williams' fault. Because Redman
Probably.
explained in a DJ Vlad
Probably.
interview that MTV tried to get him to rent a house for Cribs,
They wanted me to rent a house so I can open the big double doors and shit like, yo, look at my shit, you know.
with MTV trying to choose the home themselves.
The first thing they said was, all right, we got a couple of houses picked out for you. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, Redman simply
TV,
refused,
And I
man.
said, you know what? No, I don't want to rent a house. I want y'all to come to my house.
accidentally making the show's most relatable episode. He brought MTV Cribs to his 2-bedroom apartment, where he ironed his shirts on the floor and flexed his frozen fish fillets. Redman's
Hey.
recording studio was just
Hey.
a messy bedroom, whilst the rest of his house was in such disarray, you could barely notice his cousin sleeping on the ground. He concludes the episode stating, "Next time y'all need to find me, just rub these 2 wires for the doorbell."
Don't worry about the screen, too. You know, it's still good.
The realest episode of MTV Cribs.
This
Redman
dude, that is actually real though. Because if you think about it, if he's a rapper, right, or something like that,
where
musician,
he ironed his shirts
he's not gonna be in some
on
big
the
ass
floor
mansion, bro.
and flexed his frozen fish fillets.
All right, there's no
Redman's
time for it. You
recording
gotta make it be. You gotta make it
studio
music.
was just a
So,
messy
like-
bedroom.
Why would you spend your time in a big old mansion? Big old mansion with a million cars, especially if you're in a grind too.
Whilst the rest of his house was
W dude.